found basketball too, Rabbi?
I do, yes. That was
Great
that
game.
was a game.
The last two.
Test, 1, 2, 3, 4, test. Oh, yeah, that was crazy.
That was a great game.
I don't know why.
The basketball's been great.
My kid doesn't care for the Spurs. He's just rooting for the Spurs. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't know why. He's just he doesn't like the Knicks. He said so. He never liked the Knicks.
Well, most
He
people.
doesn't like the Knicks because the Knicks are heavy rivals with the Heat, and he's a Heat fan.
But yeah, well,
So-
me too.
So he doesn't like the Knicks because he's a huge Heat fan.
Well,
So
I grew up in Philadelphia, so we hated the Knicks. And Boston. Boston and the Knicks. Oh, me too. Oh,
everyone does. You either do or you don't.
I will root against them.
all the time.
I watch them to root against them. Same thing with the Patriots. I'll watch the Patriot game.
You're a bad buddy. You're like me. I do. I root.
There it is. That's the winner.
But it's interesting. Oh, the pictures were great. I saw this with you and and you showed.
Well,
They came out great.
One of them is the winner.
Oh, it's close
Your
between the
message last night was like, I needed a box of tissues. And I'm really happy to hear that you had such a nice relationship.
Yeah, with him. Yeah,
I think that was,
it was good.
yeah.
It was good.
All right.
It's good.
I was just telling Rabbi that I like, his
Robin's here.
heartfelt message last night. And that I was happy that you had a nice relationship together.
that's the one thing that I think many people overlook.
What up, Rob?
Yeah, you work so closely together
What up,
constantly.
Rob?
And it could be very adversarial if it's,
Anybody have your lead this morning?
No, do you want it?
anyway, I'm happy for you.
Oh yeah, that's right. I like this grass.
Thank you.
Hey, I got the memo.
Thank you. Purple.
That's purple.
Well, that's
Well, it's magenta.
That's like
You have a little of that
I'm
flat.
not.
That looks a little. There's a little more pink in that. No,
Magenta?
isn't there a little more pink in that?
You make me cry, Rabbi.
Right?
And Cantor last evening.
I make most people cry.
I missed you last night. There was not a dry.
Not,
I make
not
most
a
people
dry.
cry.
Not a dry in my house either. I watch from home.
Did you wear the tie to match your towels? The tie matches your towels. Freaking perfect.
So, I typically don't wear black suits for bar mitzvahs. You know that.
Why not?
Yeah, you usually wear like grays and
I have
blues.
grays and blues are like my bar mitzvah. But I just didn't feel like wearing the gray and blue. And so I had this black. I was like, I need a little color.
It's
So I just.
I'm also wearing the black with the color.
And I was like, watching the maroon.
it's perfect. Here's a little brighter.
Yeah,
Rabbi went.
he's popping.
I'm popping.
Yes, you're not.
I'm popping. I do.
Hey, Robin.
Yeah. Hey, Robin.
Oh yeah, this will be quick because I got two more.
Torah studies?
No, we'll have one more Torah study on the 27th. 27th will be our last Torah study. And it's at 9. And there's a bar mitzvah, but we pushed the bar mitzvah on purpose.
Back
to
to 11.
11. So we'll have a little more time. That's not
Robin, in
like.
case we have to leave, would you be able to finish up?
Yeah, so you're going to speed, right? You're not going to believe.
No, we're speeding.
I'm reading Haftarah
Oh,
at
God,
CSK
why is
this
this?
morning.
The reason I
Why is this
asked,
battery low? Because they didn't turn
Oh my
on the
goodness.
breaker.
the reason I asked is because, everybody comes to me with the, they wanted to do a collective aliyah on your last day.
Oh, that's so nice. I love that. We'll do it.
You're all freaking
We'll do it.
Temple hopping this morning. I'm double dipping.
So are they.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Lovely to see you. And we're starting. Nice. Thank you. Thanks, Jay. All right, we're starting. Hi, and we're starting. 170. Modeani. Here we go.
מודה אני לפניך, מלך וקיים, שחזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה, בחמלה. melech v'kayam, shechezarta binishmati bechemla, bechemla, rabba emunateh, rabba emunatecha.
Waldorf and Statler just walked in, so we were laughing. Anyone know who Waldorf and Statler are? Those two Muppets that were in the balcony. The two Muppets in the balcony are Waldorf and Statler, and they're like, oh, they started service without us. Yeah, Waldorf and Statler. Yeah, it's the two Muppets in the balcony. All right, friends, here we go. We're jumping to Psukei de Zimra, 183 in your Sidurim, 183.
Oh, okay.
I know we're jumping, 183.
Baruch she'amar ve'yaolam.
Baruch Hu.
Baruch Oseh v'Reshit.
Baruch Omer ve'oseh.
Baruch Gozer u'mkayem.
Baruch me'achem al haaretz.
Baruch menachem al
Baruch
biyot.
mashalem sachar tov l'reyav.
Baruch chayla v'kayam
Baruch
la'netzach.
kodem al tzil baruch shemo.
Blessed is the one who spoke when the world came to be.
Blessed is the one.
Blessed is the one who continually authors creation.
Blessed is the one whose word is deed.
Blessed is the one who decrees and fulfills.
Blessed is the one who's compassionate towards the world.
Blessed is the one who's compassionate towards all creatures.
Blessed is the one who's reverent.
Blessed is the one who exists for all time, ever enduring.
Blessed is the redeems and saves. Blessed is God's name.
Baruch atah Adonai, melech me'ulal
B'tishbachos. We continue with Shochen Ad on 192.
Shochen ad maharom v'kadosh shemo v'chatzuv ranenu tzadikim ba'adonai la'yesharim navatehila b'fi yesharim titalal v'divrei tzadikim titbarach v'v'lshon chasidim titromam v'vekerev kedoshim titkadash ובמקלות רבבות עמך בית ישראל ברינה יתפאר שמך מלכנו בכל דור ודור ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו האל המלך הגדול והקדוש בשמיים ובארץ ברוך אתה אדוני אל מלך גדול בתשבחות אל ההודעות אדון הנפלאות הבוחר בשירי זמרה מלך מלכי העולמים יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם לעולמי יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתרסה ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקדושה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן מעלמה ואמרו אמן.
A call to worship, Baruch Hu 195.
Laila 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Ha'ed המבורך, המבורך, לעולם ועד.
ברוך פניך עולם, יוצא אור וחושך, עושה שלום ובורא את הכל. Please be seated. 198 is where we continue.
אהבה רבה אהבתנו, אדוני אלוהינו, חמלה גדולה ויתרה חמלת עלינו. בעבור אבותינו ואימותינו שבטחו בך ותלמידיהם חוקי חיים. והערנו בתורתך ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך ויחד לבבינו לאהבה וליראה את שמך ולא נבוש ולא ניכלם ולא ניכשל לעולם ועד כי בשם קודשך הגדול והנורא בטחנו נגילה ונשמחה נגילה ונשמחה בישועתך. ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. מהיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם ונתנו על ציצית הכנף בצל תכלת והיה לכם לציצית וריתם אותו וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Emetz. We continue with our song of redemption, Mi Chamocha, 204.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. שירה חדשה שיבחו גאולים לשמך על שפת הים. יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ופתחנו ממך יהודה וישראל. גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Amidah begins 205.
Adonai sifata tiftach ufi hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotzeinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Ha'ibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot U'mevii Geula Livnei B'neihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחייך כל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני
We can continue with the Kedusha in the middle of page 1 at 208.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר, אדירנו, אדוני, אדוננו, מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גולך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גולך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לא ימוש לעולם ועד. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גולך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גול לך ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Continue silently now, beginning here on page 210 through page 219. Whenever you're finished, please be seated.
רצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי אדוני צורי וגואלי. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. רצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני
We continue with Seder Kriyat Torah, the service for reading Torah on this Shabbat morning, 244.
Ein kamocha va'elohim Adonai, vein kema'asecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, umemshaltecha bechol dor v'ador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai himloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai os le'amo hitein, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. Av harachamim heitiva v'tzoncha et Zion. Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, ki v'cha levad batachnu, melech el ram benisa, Adon olamim.
246.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, u'devar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Le'amo Yisrael bihitu shato.
248.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadlul Adonai iti, Unerom ema Shemo Yachdav. Lecha Adonai agedula ve'agevula ve'atiferet neitach ve'hahol ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz, ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz. Lecha Adonai hamamlacha ve'amitnasei lechol rosh. Romemu, Romemu, Adonai Eloheinu, vehishtachavu, vehishtachavu, ladom raglav kadoshu. Romemu, Romemu, Adonai Eloheinu, vehishtachavu, vehishtachavu, lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu.
Please be seated. We're in 8. Chapter 8. Well, you should know what book we're in. It's the same book. Numbers. Numbers 8. Numbers 8. 8. 8. Chapter 8. Bahalotcha. Chapter 8. Bahalotcha. Bahalotcha. Chapter 8. She's changing the whole thing. Probably where they pull it from. It's probably where David got it. Because it says,
And there's nothing within the
well,
prayer
Well, the
that
Reform Movement
translates that way.
pulls out a paragraph here from Tim Shalom. So, yeah, so it's probably different version.
Rivka Leah Bat Zvi V'Chana.
Tamod
Rivka
Rivka Leah Bat Zvi V'Chana L'Alei Torah.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvarach. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen. וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל אהרון ואמרת אליו בעלותך את הנרות אל מול פני המנורה יאירו שבעת הנרות. ויעש כן אהרון אל מול פני המנורה העלה נרותיה כאשר ציווה אדוני את משה, וזה מעשה המנורה מקדש הזהב עד ירך על פירך מקשה היא כמראה אשר הראה אדוני אל משה כן עשה את המנורה.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet V'chayei Olam Nata B'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Raise and dress the Torah. Who wants to raise and dress? We don't have a usual raiser. Who's going to do a raising? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Nice. All right, friends. 252 in your Sidurim, and together we stand.
וזאת התורה ששם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. תורה, 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 ציווה לנו משה. תורה, 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 ציווה לנו משה. Torah, 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 ציווה לנו משה. Torah, 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 ציווה לנו משה. Torah, 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 ציווה לנו משה. Torah, 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 ציווה לנו משה.
Please be seated. See how that does. It's on. 8. 8-1. No one's here except for me. Yes. You have a question? Okay. It has to be quick. We don't have any time. Go ahead. Yes.
You talked about the man and how
Yes. The manna. Yes.
how they eat that.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, they have flocks, they have all kinds of animals that they've been sacrificing for the Kohanim, and why can't they eat that?
Yeah, they can. Some sacrifices can be eaten by certain people.
I mean, ordinarily. And the other thing is, what?
You're not going to pull that, are you? She was like really carefully checking out the fire alarm just now. It's like the last person you want by the fire alarm is Jess. So I'm just saying, like, don't pull that. Yes. So yes, Some of those can be eaten, and some of those are not allowed to be eaten. Some can only be eaten by certain people, and some have to burn all the way overnight. So some of that cannot be eaten. Right. So some of the Levites, because the Levites are sustained a lot by the sacrifices, because they can't go anywhere to get the food, or get a source, because they're constantly living and doing the work of the Kohanim. So they're the ones who are doing the sacrificial system. So yes.
And the other thing is that they were served.
But don't forget it's 1 million people. So it's a lot of people to feed. So yeah.
Right. So, but the other thing, they were stationary in one place. They didn't farm anything, or they didn't do anything.
That was only in Leviticus. So now in Numbers they're moving. Now they're moving. They're removing. So yeah. So all Leviticus, they were learning the sacrificial system, which likely meant that they were eating a lot of that food. But then don't forget, they're dispersed now. So 1 million people who are traveling can't rely on all those food sources. So there had to be manna to fall for the Israelites. And by the way, don't forget, we're only in year 2 of the 40 still. So it's when they get to the 40, it's going to be even more complicated for them. They're going to have to survive on the manna, hypothetically. And then people start to whine like people do. Like, I can't believe you're sustaining us all the time, and I have food to eat. Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah. So, all right, nice. Thank you. All right. Let's do the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher shanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'asok b'divrei Torah. B'halotcha. Here we go. Chapter 8.
The Eternal One spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to Aaron and say to him, when you mount the lamps, let the 7 lamps give light at the front of the lampstand." Aaron did so. He mounted the lamps at the front of the lampstand, as the Eternal had commanded Moses. Now this is how the lampstand was made. It was hammered work of gold, hammered from base to pedal. According to the pattern that the Eternal had shown Moses, so was the lampstand made.
Okay. Yeah? What's this? It's the menorah. It's the menorah, right? What's the difference between a menorah and a Chanukiah?
The number of branches.
Number of branches, right? So what was the purpose of the menorah? Yeah, it was weekly. You're supposed to light one every day to represent each day. So when we get the story of Hanukkah, what are they trying to light? The menorah, right? So they can catch up onto the day system. Nice. All right. And anything else jump out at you, particularly that you're like, ooh, that's fun? Yeah. Okay. That's nice. What kind of detail? Yeah. Exactly. Nice. Okay. Right. So it's the usual system. We're not really deviating from the system. God speaking to Moses, and then says, speak to Aaron. Official. Nice. Yeah. It's the authority system to be able to do it. Nice. Very good. Yeah.
Isn't there another parsha where we're going up the Halotah? Isn't there something like when you go into the land of Israel? What's the name? It's not the Halotah. It's when you go up into.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay. I'll find it.
Okay. Great. Yeah. It's in the renewed version. Just kidding. Yes.
He said it's in the New Testament.
Dr. Bob.
Yeah, this is hammered work, and the golden calf was cast. Is that drawing a distinction?
Oh, that's nice. I never thought of that. It's a beautiful connection to say that this is like a proper work made by the people, as opposed to the sort of wrong work that people did collectively. It actually reminds me of, it's so funny you said that. We just had a conversation with, it was with either a conversion student or B'nai Mitzvah, and talked about ChatGPT. It was Michelle, right. So we were talking about how so many kids are using ChatGPT to turn in a lot of their work. And so it reminds me of exactly what you're saying in terms of a cast work as opposed to a hammered work, and the idea that a lot of students are being caught because a lot of papers have to be turned in on a Google Doc, And the interesting thing about a Google Doc is you can see what time it was submitted and worked on. So you can go back and see, like, oh, you know, I wrote a couple of sentences at 10:01, then I wrote sentences at 12:03, then I wrote whatever. But a Google Doc that is just cut and paste shows you the whole document was written in like 1 second. So a teacher can see it's impossible for you to have copied, pasted, and then turned it in, because it shows that you wrote the whole paper in 1 second, which doesn't work. So you can see that. It reminds me of that work, of the idea that a cast that's just poured together takes only a second, and yet a hammered work takes time for you to build and hammer and maneuver and correct and angle and get it perfect. So I like the drash of the cast, where you just maybe pour something into a stencil type thing and it's just done. So it's almost like a cut and paste job, as opposed to I'm going to work on this meticulously and we're going to do it together, and you're going to look at it and say, like, what about this angle? What about that angle? And so it grows into a different communal aspect. So Dr. Bob, nice. Good. Totally gold star. Sorry, not for you yet, Harry. Although you made a nice comment before, but it was like, is that, hammered gold. Nice. Way to go. No. Nice. All right. Good. Yes, let's keep going. We're on 5.
The Eternal One spoke to Moses, saying, "Take the Levites from among the Israelites and purify them. This is what you shall do to them to purify them. Sprinkle on them water of purification, and let them go over their whole body with a razor, and wash their clothes. Thus they shall be purified. Let them take a bull of the herd, and with it a meal offering of choice flour with oil mixed in, and you take a second bull of the herd for a purgation offering. You shall bring the Levites forward before the tent of meeting. Assemble the Israelite community leadership, and bring the Levites forward before the Eternal. Let the Israelites lay their hands upon the Levites, and let Aaron designate the Levites before the Eternal as an elevation offering from the Israelites, that they may perform the service of the Eternal. The Levites shall now lay their hands upon the heads of the bulls. One shall be offered to the Eternal as a purgation offering, and the other as a burnt offering, to make expiation for the Levites."
Oh, what's this? A hamburger. Nice. Beautiful job. It is it's the birth of McDonald's. Thank you very much. Nice. Okay. But besides that, what is all this? There's a lot going on here. There's some sprinkling, there's water, there's purification, there's a bull in here. What do we have going on? Right, there's shaving, there's a whole cleansing system. Yes. Oh, to do the cleansing, you're saying? To go through the cleansing system?
I was thinking, like, let's say the woman, has her accident, and then she's washing clothes, she can't combine it with the man.
Oh, you're talking about the purity level of the cleansing. Like, can the cleansing be somehow unclean because of the ritual cleansing?
You know how, like, you wash in a traditional Orthodox cook, you wash the meat dishes separately from the dairy dishes.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, is there, like, does the Torah, or I don't recall, like, have you do laundry specifically so one set of laundry doesn't contaminate the other, such as dishes?
Nice. So there are. This is a great question. It goes into great intricacy, which actually I don't know that much about past a certain level. I will tell you that the impure and pure conversations often occur around ritual items. So the clothes in the washer aren't ritual items, and so probably don't incur clean or unclean touching in that way. It's more around if you touch a prayer book, or you touch like a yad or a Torah or something like that, in terms of that holy space. So it could also be that that if you're, depending on how traditional someone is, that you avoid avoid the cleansing, the washing for that week. So, but it depends on the level of tradition. Yeah.
The multiple bull sacrifice to be really, really significant. So bulls are really, really aggressive. So having them is not an easy thing. You need them to diversify the genetics of your herd to make it stronger. So you don't want a lot of them, but you need several of them. So to get rid of two, that's a big ask because you had to raise this a very aggressive animal, presumably from birth through the time it's an adult, and now you don't even get to keep its genes. You have to just get rid of it and do it all over again. That is a freaking pain. So I think that's a really big ask. It's a freaking pain.
That was awesome. I don't know. That is such a good observation. I don't know. You always come up with the best questions on the cows and the bulls and the animals. I don't know the answer. I presume, by the way, from the Jewish perspective, it's supposed to be a huge pain. Like, I think that you are asking a huge ask. Like, I think that's why it's so difficult. Well, I leave that to all of you to come up with your adjective for that. Yeah, it's nice. However you want to say it. So that's it. That's it. It's over. So I think if it was easy, then we wouldn't be asked to do it in the same way that all of the sacrifices have to be without blemish, which is also a difficult thing to ask someone, because if you're not very wealthy and you only have 3 sheep, let's say, and only one is perfect, you have to give that one away and not the ones with the blemish, which also reminds me of like the donation system. I always like to take this concept to talk about to religious school kids. Like, how many people leave the mall with all the beautiful stuff that you just bought and drive right to your donation place and donate it right to the boxes in the donation place? Usually it doesn't happen that way. Usually it's the thing that's been in the garage, in the garbage bags, and the thing that you find that's much later. It's worn, it's torn, it's smelly, you don't need it. That's what you donate. You don't donate from the mall. Like, you don't get in the car like with all of the nice hanging clothes and you're like, here, have the tags are still on it. Here, please take it. Like, we don't do that. So while we should, I think that's what God's asking us. So it's a great point. I don't know the sort of the bull concept. You obviously, it's awesome how you always have that insight. I don't know it, but I do know that it must have been incredibly challenging for them to do it, because it did mean, now what? And now we have to redo the whole system. Or maybe you do have like a bullpen, if you will. So to bring up, thank you. I saw it formulate and I was like, hold it. And there you go. So for you to, I'm gonna let that saturate for one more second, even though we're in a hurry. It's worth it for me just to like, and here we go. So yes, I think it's probably really, really challenging to be able to have to do it. So nice, yes.
They talk about Israelite community leadership. How many people are we talking about that are in leadership?
Well, at minimum, you have the heads of the tribes. So that's 12, and then, but don't forget, then the system after the system after the system. There's probably the people who are under the tribe heads, then the people who are probably under those tribe heads, and all the way down. So it's probably
People are going to be putting their hands on the Levites, and I could just like.
Right. So what does that remind us of? And then after this, we're going to change chapters, so that we have a little time for that. So, okay, so first of all, it's nice. It's the connection to Birkat HaKohanim, which was just last week. So last week, was that last week? Was only that was, I feel like I think B'Halotcha, I've been talking about B'Halotcha for a whole month. I feel like more than a week. This Torah portion, I've been talking about it for, we did it Saturday, I've been Sunday. My kid graduated from high school from Donna Klein. We talked about Baalotcha at Donna Klein all week. I need a break from Baalotcha. So we're going to talk about it now at the Bat Mitzvah Baalotcha. I've never spent this much time talking about this one Torah portion. It's usually like, whoa, whatever, Baalotcha. Anyway, so yes, I think it has a beautiful connection to last week about raising hands. So nice. That being said, what's this piece though? Like, what's 12 remind you of? Verse 12. What does verse 12 remind you of particularly? Well, Birkat HaKohanim is true. There's the priestly benediction, right? That's Birkat HaKohanim. Nice, yeah. Nice. Okay, so there are hands there. Hands there. So night that. So what's the theme? What's with the hands? Yes. So the more and more that are the hands, putting hands on someone in this ritual way transfers. It's a transference system. You're transferring somehow in the system in the same way you do Birkat HaKohanim, in the same way that you're transferring something, in the same way that ordination is done. The ordainer literally puts their hands on you to transfer their power, if you will, onto someone else. And so what's happening with this hands on? What's that? It's smicha. It is. It's smicha. Well, not only is it, thank you for saying that. If you look at 12, in Hebrew, what does the second word say? Vaismichu. It's smicha. It's literally putting hands on someone to transfer. But then literally, what are they transferring here? What is the end of 12? What is 12b saying to you? Nice. Okay, so second of all, the Levites never got elevated, the poor Levites. So here's an incredibly important piece of the Levites, which is really great, because they should be special. They're usually second to the Kohanim, which they are, but we never hear about them. Yes? Yeah. Yeah. Nice. And it goes on to this bull is part of it. And then what's the job of that bull, though, in 12b? What's the job of the bull? To die. Thank you. What's it dying for? Yes. So what does this remind you of? No, not the guy who dies for your sins in the New Testament. Not that guy. Different angle. Not that guy. Not that guy. Shh, don't talk about that guy. Shh, the live stream is on. Don't talk about that guy. Yeah. So, yes. Different guy. So what holiday do we know where you're expiating that you're relieving your sin? Yes, it's Yom Kippur. So it's this idea of, and now look at 12b all the way at the end, 3 words from the end in Hebrew. What does it say? Lechaper. There is Yom Kippur. It's literally in that text that the expiation, if you will. I love saying that word. It makes me sound so smart. Thank you. It makes me sound that and penultimate. It's my favorite word to say to people. Like penultimate. Like, what does that mean? What's penultimate? Yeah, thank you. It means second to last. Thank you very much. I know, like, that's the only word I know. That sounds fancy. That and expiate. So, yes. So you are expiating for your sin and you're letting them go. And then what happens to that bull? We said it. What happens to this bull? They die. So why is that such a good visual, by the way, for Israelites? Why is that such a good visual? Well, don't mess up, but it's a good visual to say, oh my gosh, this God that I am learning about is actually going to relieve me from my sins. It's actually, I'm going to see it. I'm going to watch this bull. I put my stuff on that animal, and it's going to die, and now what am I now? Clean. I'm clean. So it's this great physical transference that people can see and understand. And by the way, you're also going to, what's that? Well, it's not cruelty, because have you had a hamburger before? So I'm just saying, like, it's not cruelty, and this is also where kashrut comes in. This is the least amount of cruelty eventually that happens. So if you have a hamburger that's not kosher, talk about cruelty. I mean, who knows what happened to that animal? To that animal. You're not vegan, sorry. You're vegan, so great. So sorry. Yeah. So yes. So, but that's the expiation, and this is the idea that happens in the Baalotcha idea. All right. Go to 9. Chapter 9. Here we go. Chapter 9. 9:1.
The Eternal One spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai on the first new moon of the second year following the exodus from the land of Egypt.
Okay. Look at that gigantic verse. What do we know? They're in the wilderness. Nice. That's nice. What's the wilderness called, by the way? No, what's it called in the Hebrew? Bemidbar, which is the name of what? The book. Nice. All right, good. So just as a reminder. Okay, good. Where are they? Yeah, they're near Har Sinai. So they're near the mountain where they received what? The Ten Commandments. All right, good. So this is all nice. Okay, wilderness. And tell me, like, the location, time. One. Okay. So on the first new moon of the what?
Second year.
Okay. So how many years has it been since they went through the water? 2. Good. 2. Okay, fine. It's beginning. Fine. 1 and a little bit. Fine. Okay. Fine. 1 and a little bit. Okay. And this, right. Okay. Fine. And then, so following what? Following the Exodus. Good, everyone. I feel like we're doing this. And then who's speaking? God. To who?
Moses.
And only to who? Excellent. Now we're on 2. Only Mrs. Riley. How many fingers am I holding up? Let the records show 2. Yeah, sorry. If you haven't seen my cousin Vinny, then this is my cousin Vinny, and then yours. The 2 of you. I even made the reference last night in the middle of this. I wore this ridiculous thing for you. Yeah, for you. All right. We're on 2.
Let the Israelite people offer the Passover sacrifice at its set time. You shall offer it on the 14th day of this month at twilight. At its set time, you shall offer it in accordance with all its rules and rites.
Okay, what's this?
They're celebrating
Passover.
Yes. Why? Yes. What did Muchnik just say?
Because they missed it the first time.
Yeah. So they missed it the first time. So because they missed it the first time, that's why the concept is born that you can have a second Pesach. And there is something called now Pesach Sheni, which you can have in case for some reason you missed the first Pesach. Because what's so important about Pesach? It's really important because it's about the freedom that we get to have and start the whole story. Right, so there is literally something called Pesach Sheni, which we just passed, by the way, and it's designed for people who might not have been able to celebrate Pesach the first time. If they're like on a boat, or they're at sea, or they're somewhere else, or they're engaged and their job doesn't let them, all these things. There's Pesach Sheni, so this is the proof text for Pesach Sheni. Yes? Oh no! This is real. Everyone does Pesach Sheni. Yeah, it's the real deal. It's a month after. Literally a month after Pesach. Yeah. So yeah, there's literally Pesach Sheni because it's in the R. So because you have to. It's that important. You have to have a second round at it to be able to fulfill Pesach. So, because you can't not do Pesach. You can't, because what's the mitzvah of Pesach when you're sitting at the Seder? There's one sentence you have to say. No matter what you do, there's one sentence you have to say on Pesach. You can do short Seder, big Seder, 4-hour Seder, 20-minute Seder. You have to have one sentence that you have to say.
Next year in Israel?
No, that's a good one. I like the Israel one, but no. Bechol dor v'dor chayav adam lirot et atzmo ki'ilu hu yatsa b'mitzrayim. In every generation, every person has to feel like they left Egypt, because what's the most important thing we have to celebrate all the time? What do we sing when the cantor sings the long Kiddush every Friday night? Every single Friday night, what do we say? Miyetziat Mitzrayim. We talk about leaving Egypt. It's like the thing for us. It's the stamp for everyone we have to have that's in us, because we have to appreciate the fact that we were freed, because if not, we ain't got nothing. So we have to have that important thing. And so here's another round. If you choose to accept it or you need it, then you have a second round of your ability to fulfill your mitzvah of saying that statement, that you have to feel at your Seder, like actually, like take a second and close your eyes, like you were the one who was freed from Egypt. Otherwise, nothing. We don't sit there, we don't know anything, we're not a people, we're nothing. So, exactly, and that's where we get Dayenu, and that's where we get all that stuff from. So, nice, good. Okay, so I wanted us to get to that part. What your homework is, by the way, is long and complicated, because as we get further into 9, we'll see one of my favorite parts is that there's going to be an official pillar, like a cloud and fire, that's going to be moving the Israelites all the way through. So if you want to look at your homework later, that's around verse 16. So there's your pillar of fire and your cloud. That's what takes the Israelites through, because we need that. And then there's all discussion of Passover here, and then the last part that we're going to do really quickly, because it's a huge chapter, this huge Torah portion, is go to chapter 11 just for a second. Go to chapter 11. We're going to look at this, and then that's where we're going to end. Chapter 11, I can't not mention this. So let's do 11:1.
The people took to complaining bitterly before the Eternal. The Eternal heard and was incensed. A fire of the Eternal broke out against them, ravaging the outskirts of the camp. The people cried out to Moses. Moses prayed to the Eternal, and the fire died down. That place was named Taberah or Taberah.
Whatever. Taberah, it's fine.
Because the fire of the Eternal had broken out against them.
Okay, what happens here quickly? There's kvetching. Not only kvetching, but look what the Torah adds to it. Not just kvetching. They're not just complaining. They're complaining bitterly. So look at the Torah doesn't waste words. They're really irritating. Like the Israelites are particularly irritating. And what's God's response to this? Angry. Yeah. God's like, seriously, people, like, I'm really annoyed. Like, this is annoying. You stop. And so who's the only one who calms God down? Moses. And Moses says, like, it's okay. I got this, right? And so here we're at 4.
The riffraff in their midst felt a gluttonous craving, and then the Israelites wept and said, if only we had meat to eat. We remember the fish that we used to eat free in Egypt, the cucumbers, the melons, the leeks, the onions, and the garlic. Now our gullets are shriveled. There is nothing at all, nothing but this manna to look to.
Okay, so even more so frustrating for God is this sentence that says, we thank you for sustaining us, God. Oh no, we're not saying that. We're saying if only we were back in Egypt. And we could be there, because I really miss the cucumbers that Egypt had. If only I had cucumbers, then everything would be fine. And now our gullets are shriveled, and all we have to eat is this manna. And now 7 goes on to give us a little bit of explanation what manna is. No one knows, but here's 7.
Now the manna was like coriander seed, and in color it was like bdellium. The people would go about and gather it, grind it between millstones, or pound it in a mortar, boil it in a pot, and make it into cakes. It tasted like rich cream. When the dew fell on the camp at night, the manna would fall upon it.
Okay, so that doesn't sound so bad to me, actually. I like a little cake. The cake sound a little nice. I like to make a little cake. All right, so, but here, we're on 10.
Moses heard the people weeping, every clan apart, at the entrance of each tent. The Eternal was very angry, and Moses was distressed. And Moses said to the Eternal, "Why have you dealt ill with your servant? And why have I not enjoyed your favor, that you have laid the burden of all of this people upon me?"
What's this? Whoa, yeah, Moses is like, oh, come on, this too? Like, give me a break. I now have to deal with the people. This is your job to deal with the people. I don't deal with the people. What's that? Yeah, what did I do to you? Exactly. Nice. All right, good. All right, let's keep going.
Did I produce all this people? Did I engender them, that you should say to me, "Carry them in your bosom, as a caretaker carries an infant to the land that you have promised"?
Nice. Did
on
I
oath
make this? Did I do this?
their
Did this?
fathers?
I didn't do this. Hey, what's up? Yeah.
Where am I to get meat to give to all this people when they whine before me and say, "Give us meat to eat"? I cannot carry all this people by myself, for it is too much for me. If you would deal thus with me, kill me, rather than, I beg you, and let me see no more of my wretchedness.
Oh, what's this? Oh, poo-poo. Yeah, this is exhausted. This is frustrating. This is, by the way, why I love Moses. This is why I love Moses, because you know what this is? Human. He's upset. He's frustrated. He's trying. He's doing his best. These people are whining, the meat and the no meat and the da-da-da, yeah, yes?
This has to be the most Larry David moment.
Yes, it is. It's totally a human Larry David moment. It is. This is, it's next door. Out to do what? Just hold them? If they hold them, that's fine. Not to unroll them or open up the soup, but they can take them out and hold them. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I'm not there to watch it fall anyway. So all right, great. So okay, so yeah, this is what yeah, Dr. Bob.
Yeah, so why didn't God anticipate this behavior, these reactions?
Nice. So why doesn't God anticipate this? And the answer is maybe God does. But by the way, so maybe God does, maybe God doesn't, and maybe, but maybe, I would say that wouldn't you possibly know how your own kid might react by a certain thing, even though you know that it's coming? Like here it goes. Like, I'm ready. Like, did the best that I could up until now, but it's coming. I'm ready. I'm ready for and then sure enough, how come I have to? I was like, I don't know. Not my kids, because they're perfect. But yeah. So quickly, and then we're ended, and we're leaving. Yeah.
Does it, God is present, his presence, it's in a present moment, right? And
Yeah.
we need to, and again, I think Torah is very clear in illustrating process.
Yeah.
So it's the process between a superior intelligence being with a design that's limited.
Right. I mean, that's the whole idea, is that are we going to think of God like we understand God, from a personification idea on behaviors that we understand because we only understand that as a human, or are we going to look at God as like a being that we don't understand? And so we can be somewhere in the middle with all of those things. Like, is in the same way that I just said, like, can God, my action of thinking of like God's conversation, I just turned into a human interaction of like my own kids and me, and being like, here it comes. We know it's coming. Like, we know we have to tell the kids this. Knowing that, how they're going to react this way, but we have to do it anyway. So we're going to do this anyway, and then it's just going to happen, and we're just going to have to bite the bullet and be like, here we go, ready to go, right? So it just depends. So that being said, we're going to 31, and then we're leaving. 31. Verse 31. Verse 31. Same chapter, verse 31. We're all in the same chapter, just verse 31.
A wind from the Eternal started up, swept quail from the sea, and strewed them over the camp, about a day's journey on this side and about a day's journey on that side, all around the camp, and some 2 cubits deep on the ground. The people set to gathering quail all that day and night, and all the next day. Even the one who gathered least had 10 shomers, and they spread them out all around the camp. The meat was still between their teeth, not yet chewed, when the anger of the Eternal blazed forth against the people, and the Eternal struck the people with a very severe plague. That place was named Kibroth Hatava, because the people who had the craving were buried there. Then the people set out from Kibroth Hatava for Hazeroth.
All right, so there's food. So now they got to eat this food, and so here it is. But they didn't appreciate the food, and so that's catching us up. And then what we didn't have time to look at is your major homework is chapter 12. Because chapter 12, which we don't have time for, but that's your major homework, and that's the conversation when Miriam doesn't really like her sister-in-law and speaks badly about her, and it's complicated. So sorry for the rush, but we knew it was coming, and then sorry. And then we're not going to be here next week, but you should pay close attention next week to the Torah portion, because it is in fact the best Torah portion in the entire Torah is next week. So next week's Torah portion is the best Torah portion in all text, actually, is next week's Torah portion. So pay close attention to next week's Torah portion, because nothing is better than next week's Torah portion ever, anywhere, and for anything you'll ever read in your whole life.
It was your bar mitzvah.
Because it's the bar mitzvah portion that I had. Exactly. It's the bar mitzvah portion. Yeah. So it's my bar mitzvah portion. So. Oh, Bob, please.
Because this section has my favorite quote, but we didn't use my.
Which is what?
Well, first I love the riffraff one.
Yes, riffraff is good.
But when God says you want meat.
Yeah, I'll give you meat. Exactly. 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 That's the section that we skipped over a little bit, but yes. So, all right. If you're on the live stream, friends, you're about to lose the live stream. So, yes, friends, if you're on the live stream, you're about to lose the live stream. Sorry, live stream